Hi, welcome to the Streets of NIL podcast. This is your host, Katie Wu. In today's episode, I'm joined with Connor Printz, a senior playing basketball at Claremont McKenna College, who's amassed over 1 million followers across Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, and has done over 100 NIL deals. Connor, welcome to the pod.
How you doing? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Connor, so I wanted to talk to you about you are a D3 athlete and you showed up in a lot of my NIL research. You were one of the top searches because you have a lot of deals. You have over 100 deals, which I think is quite a lot in the NIL space just because how new it is. And you being a D3 athlete, knowing that a lot of NIL deals you would think go to D1 athletes or the Power Five quarterbacks. So you're a really interesting story that I want to learn more about. And so thank you for coming onto the podcast today.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, I want to get to know your background first as an athlete. What sports did you play growing up? What's your sports story?
Yeah, I mean, I've been an athlete my whole life. Growing up, played all different types of sports. Played basketball, flag football, baseball, cross country. Then once I got to around fourth grade, I had a realization where, you know what, I really love basketball. This is what I want to focus on. And so mainly just did basketball and then did some cross country for my school ever since fourth grade. But yeah, basketball has been my whole life. But just outside of basketball, even here at school, I'm playing intramural sports all the time, playing volleyball. We're doing flag football, kickball, and so just love sports, love being an athlete.
Framing your background, you came from the Taft School in Connecticut, and then you did a post-grad year at Deerfield Academy in Massachusetts. My question to you is like, how did you end up at CMC? Why did you choose CMC and opt to play D3 basketball?
Yeah, of course, I had an amazing experience being able to go to Taft and Deerfield, two of the best prep schools in the world. So that was unbelievable. And then yeah, I was being recruited by a different or a multitude of different schools, different colleges. Ranging from the Division 1 level all the way to Division 3. And once I realized, like, hey, I'm probably not gonna get a full scholarship to Division 1. Let me focus on the high academic Division 3s. As right now, my school is currently ranked the ninth best school in the entire world in terms of academics. And so I realized, you know what? I'm going to set myself up for the 40-year plan where when I graduate, I'll be able to have an amazing degree, set myself up for a good job, have a lot of connections. And then playing Division 3 basketball is great. I'm still able to pursue my passion of basketball, but it's not a full-time job. While it is still very, very busy, you're not in the gym from 8 a.m. all the way till 6 o'clock at night, just doing different workouts in basketball. I'm able to explore different passions like content and NIL. And that's been great. And so I definitely recommend Division 3 because a lot of dudes hate on it. They think Division 3 basketball players suck. A lot of people tell me I'm a horrible basketball player, but they have no idea. And so definitely an amazing experience here for sure.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit about how D3 schools are really high academic. Can you talk a little bit about how you were able to balance the studies at CMC and during basketball season, in-season stuff, practice games, and also with content creation? How have you balanced your schedule, time management, things like that?
Definitely. It's hard for sure. I mean, you look in season, we get to the gym about an hour before practice, whether you have to get tape, go to the trainers, then, warm up, get some shots up. Practice ranges from around 2 to 2.5 hours. And then afterward, you can stay and lift, get extra shots up. So you're definitely in the gym for a while. And then here, you don't have any leeway in terms of academics. You're not given any special treatment just because you're an athlete like these big D1s. And so academics come first for sure. And so the big thing for me was really just planning out my weeks using Google Calendar, using that was big time for me, and really just setting down times to figure out when I'm going to do things. So hey, I'm going to set out tonight from 7 to 8. I'm going to do content at that time, and so it's really just taking a step back, realizing what I need to get done, and then using my calendar and making sure I'm planning out these events. Because if I'm just kind of doing it day by day and don't really have a plan, it's very very hard. And so making sure that I time manage what I'm doing and then creating a schedule is super super important.
My next question for you is let's transition to your content creation and your NIL. How did you first get started in content creation and growing your platforms? Like I mentioned before, as a D3 athlete, it could be a little bit intimidating. So can you talk a little bit about that like mindset shift that you had to just feel confident in pursuing something like NIL?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, I always wanted to create content. I'm someone who just loves watching YouTube videos, different basketball creators, but really didn't believe in myself, I guess. Didn't know that I'd be able to get to a high level, didn't know how to start, what I should post. And then I got my first big NIL deal through Snapchat actually. And I had a requirement of posting 6 times a week on my story and then 3 times a week on Snapchat Spotlight to get paid. And that was kind of like a push start for me to be like, all right, I got to create content and I'm required to now, and if I don't, I won't get paid. So I kind of have to do it. And so that really got me going. Once I realized that NIL wasn't just the Power Five schools getting paid from their schools for ticket sales, it was, anybody can start making money. I really knew that I wanted to do this and just give it a shot. Didn't want to live life with regrets, and so did that, and it's worked out well so far. And so I'm excited to see what the future holds in all this.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about your Snapchat deal? I watched an interview from a little bit ago, and you talked about how your first big NIL deal was from Snapchat through a platform called Open Doors. Can you talk about how you landed that NIL deal and what you think made you like stand out among all these other athletes on that Open Doors platform? Because there's probably like hundreds, maybe even thousands. So
Yeah.
why do you think Snapchat chose you?
Yeah, it was interesting. I saw the post one day on Open Doors. The different NIL deals on there. Saw Snapchat, saw the amount of money they're paying, and I'm like, all right, I'm definitely not gonna get this. I don't create content. I think at the time I had like 2,000 followers on Instagram, like 10K on TikTok, just from like funny videos in COVID, and nothing on Snapchat. Never posted a video on Snapchat before. So I applied, not thinking I would get it. About a month later, I got accepted, and Snapchat basically was like, hey, we just want a different level of college athletes. We want the highest of D1s to Division threes, just a wide variety of college athletes on the platform. And that's kind of our main target audience right now, is to just get college athletes in the platform. And they really didn't care that I didn't have a following at all. They just, saw potential in me, knew that Claremont was a great school, Division three athletics. They really wanted to push out there. And so that's how I got it. I applied, didn't think I was going to get it, but I did. And that deal changed my entire life, because that's, how I started. And yeah, it was awesome.
You have, last time I checked, which was a couple days ago, you had 680,000 Snapchat followers, which is a lot. I didn't even know people were on Snapchat like that.
Yeah.
You also have 209,000 on Instagram and 200. I rounded you up, you were at 199.7, but I'm gonna give it to you, 200 on TikTok. So that's over a million followers across three platforms. And I think that's something really cool, is like a lot of creators and influencers are only really on one platform really big, but you're successful across all three. What do you attribute that success to across all social media platforms?
Yeah, I think the main thing, number one, is consistency. I've been doing this for just about 2 years now, and I've tried to get a post up every single day. Of course, there's days where I may not be able to post just because I'm busy, or I may not have an idea in mind. But for the most part, I'm trying to post as much as I can. And I definitely noticed that if I take some time off, engagement goes down. I may lose a few followers, but once I'm back to posting, that's definitely the best way to go about it. And then I try to make sure I show I'm authentic. I'm a normal dude at the end of the day. Just because I have followers, I'm not a celebrity or anything like that. I'm a normal guy, and so I try to make sure I'm responding to everybody's comment, everybody's DM, because kids will write me all the time asking for help, asking for advice, saying they're big fans, and to me that's amazing. It's a dream come true to see that, and so just making sure that I'm being authentic and responding to as many people, and then being consistent is for sure the two main things for me.
I've looked through your social media briefly. Your TikTok and Instagram are pretty similar, a lot of copy and paste. That's what a lot of creators do, but your Snapchat, obviously, it's like the daily stories. How do you generate ideas for new social media content? I see your most recent series is like Road to the NBA Draft as a D3 athlete. I think that's really cool. Can you talk a little bit about your like brainstorming process and creating new video ideas?
Yeah, a few different things. A lot of times it's just kind of me sitting down thinking, what would I want to watch as a kid? Thinking like that. I definitely get a lot of inspiration from other creators. Chat GPT has honestly been great. They give me a lot of good ideas, and a lot of other creators do the same thing. And so, multitude of things. A lot of friends will send me ideas. My family sends me ideas, and so a wide variety of ideas coming in. And so, a lot of times it is though just a lot of inspiration from other people. There's definitely creators that are bigger than me that I look up to, and take inspiration from. And so, you really just gotta sit down, take out your notes app in your phone, write down ideas when you have it, and then get that idea filmed right away. And so it's a lot of creativity, a lot of time, but I love it.
And going back to NIL as a whole, I think you're signed to, is it Snapback Incorporated or something, your agency? Can you talk a little bit about the process of how you landed an agency representation? Did that come from your Snapchat deal? And how did that happen?
Yeah, so I was reached out to by Snapback, I think right around November, maybe. The main guy, his name's Alex Scheinman. He's my agent. He reached out to me via Instagram DM and was like, hey, me and Jack Settleman is the founder of Snapback Sports, a big sports social media company where they found their success on Snapchat. They were like, hey, we saw how well you're doing at Snapchat right now. We'd love to connect with you and then see how we can support you or maybe represent you. So I talked to them. Their agency, features some of the top upcoming sports creators, and so it wasn't just an NIL agency, but an agency for me to be able to grow my content and connect with lots of different people. And it's been awesome so far. I just got back from NBA All Star Weekend a few weekends ago, where they brought me out there. I was able to do some brand deals. I was able to meet a lot of different people, and so it was very, very cool for sure. Right now, they've been connecting me with a lot of different people, and of course, they're helping with brand deals. But the main thing is really just introducing me to so many different people, and it's been a game changer for me.
And how does the process of landing NIL deals look now with agency representation? Is it different from how it was before? Does it make it easier for you? What does like landing a typical NIL deal look like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit easier. When I started, a lot of it was through the different marketplaces like Open Doors, Mogul, Post Game. A lot of it was brands reaching out to me via Instagram or email, me reaching out to brands. But now my agent handles most of it. He does a lot of brand outreach each day for me. I'll still do brand outreach myself. But once I get in touch with the brand, I just send it over to him and he handles all the negotiation stuff. And, I was doing that before, didn't know how much I should be charging, didn't know about contract negotiation and all of that. And so all that stuff is kind of taken off my shoulders. He's doing that for me. And so definitely makes the process a lot easier.
And I assume you still have some say in like what brands you decide to partner with. Can you explain a little bit about like your decision-making process on what brands you choose to partner with, making sure that it still aligns with like the values of what your personal brand wants to reflect?
For sure. Yeah, I do want to make sure that I post brands that are along with my personal brand and the content that I'm posting. Right when I started content, I was kind of accepting everything that came my way just because, wanted free product, wanted some cash, and thought that was pretty cool. And so now that I have the ability to kind of pick and choose the brands that I want to work with, I'm really just focusing on brands that are kind of in the sports basketball type world. For example, I had like a beer company reach out to me recently with some good money. But for example, I'm not a drinker. I don't really drink it like that, and so I don't want beer kind of posted on my page, and so rejected them there. Even though I'm grateful for the opportunity, and so really just kind of narrowing down to see what really fits my page is the most important thing, and because like I said, I'm really authentic to my people, to my followers, and want to promote products that I really like to use and would want them to use. So that's kind of how I go about it.
How has your life changed before and after NIL? You talked a little bit about like the people that you met and obviously the money's good and everything, but I think something that NIL does is just sets you up professionally for your professional future. So you're graduating this year, so am I. How is your life, how has NIL influenced your post grad plans and what do you plan to do right now?
Yeah, I think like first of all, like get out the way. Of course, money's nice. As a college kid, doesn't have like a full-time job. It's cool to have some, just bringing in some extra money. And so definitely recommend all college students definitely hop on the NIL wave if they can. And yeah, the biggest thing is honestly just connections. I've started posting on LinkedIn recently actually, and the amount of people that I've met on LinkedIn has been unbelievable. Like so many CEOs reaching out to me, different social media people just wanting to learn about my story with NIL and been amazing. So have a lot of job opportunities set up because of NIL and just learning so many different things. And so I think that, if I didn't get within NIL, of course I believe in myself that I'd be able to meet a lot of different people, but it's just opened up so many doors for me that I would have never expected. And so it's just been truly amazing. And so post college, definitely want to stay within the social media, basketball, NIL world, whether that's working for a social media company, an NBA team, a college athletics department, doing a lot of interview stuff right now. And so hopefully we'll figure that out in the next month or two.
What have you learned more in generally from NIL, either professionally, socially, or personally?
Yeah, everything's all about who you know and who knows you. Connections is the biggest thing in the world. Like, a lot of you people always say that, but now that I'm kind of in this world, I realize connections is everything. And so making sure that you're confident and that you're building your own personal brand is huge. Because, that now the fact that I built my own personal brand, I'm confident in what I do. And then, when I reach out to people, I hope for a response. And when they see the brand that I've built, a lot of people are willing to take my call. And it's just because, I spent a lot of time building my own personal brand. So believe in yourself, lock in, work hard, and a lot of things will come your way.
Do you have any final remarks or advice for athletes who may not have a large following yet on how they can get started with NIL?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just go ahead and do it. For me, I was a little intimidated at first, but I decided, this is what I want. I'm gonna pursue it. I don't have a lot of time in college athletics. You only have 4 years, maybe five if you have an extra COVID year. So there's not a lot of time to be a college athlete and gain some money and some insight within NIL. And so just start. Don't waste any time. really post what you're passionate about. I love basketball, and that's what I'm passionate about. There's a girl I know I did an NIL panel with. She was a volleyball player, but she loved hiking, and she posted all about hiking. Gained hundreds of thousands of followers with it, makes tons of money, and kills it. And so, if you love something, post about it, build your own personal brand. And brands love athlete creators. The fact that I've been able to gain a following, show brands that I know how to create videos, they seem to love that. And so sometimes they'll choose me versus a high level Division 1 guy just because I have the experience of making videos. And so be confident. Don't let people, don't be afraid that you're going to get bullied or made fun of. It's changed my life and can change yours too. So I definitely recommend everybody start.
I appreciate it, Connor. Thank you so much for talking with me today. You were really helpful and you gave some really motivational and inspirational quotes. So thank you.
Definitely. No, thank you so much.